So one of the things that happened to me when I turned 50 was I immediately started hiding my arms. And the other day, you slept over my house for my birthday.
You're welcome.
And I noticed that your arms were shredded. And when I said, where the fuck did they come from? You said,
I do push-ups in my closet.
I don't even... Welcome to Talk 50 to me.
Talk 50 to me.
Let's do it again. Hi, Constance.
Hi, Heidi.
I want to talk about your... I didn't know that you worked out. I thought you just did walking with the dogs, and I've seen you strap your ankle weights on, but I didn't know there was a whole closet routine happening.
Well, let's be clear. Routine is probably not the right word. When I remember to do 40 to 50 push-ups against the counter in my closet, I also have a closet that used to be a bedroom. So my closet is quite large, and the counter in there where the drawers are is the perfect height for push-ups.
Right.
So I'm not on the ground doing military style push-ups.
But still,
be fair.
You work. Did you start working out more when you hit 50? Because
no, less. Actually, less, which is bad. And my husband every single day is like, is it today? Are you going to work out today? You're going to work out today? How about today? Is later this afternoon? Are you going to work out? Because I do know it's important. I do know that when you go into perimenopause and menopause and after and all of the rest of your life, we should be taking better care of our bones. And how we take better care of our bones is by strength training. You can do 20 minutes a day with what's that called? The black ball? Kettlebell. Thank you. All you have to do is 20 minutes a day.
If you can remember it.
With a kettlebell that is good for whatever your weight. But because it's about building strength in your bones that we have to do.
It's not just menopause and perimenopause. It's like aging. You have
aging.
to keep moving. Carl Reiner said, just keep moving.
Right.
And you have to keep moving, but it's all very confusing because how much protein do I need? How much fiber do I need? Should I be in a weighted vest? Is a weighted vest good or is a weighted vest bad? Like the information is so much sometimes that I just sit down.
It's a lot. It is a lot to take in, but you have to figure out what works best for you and what you can be consistent with. Like I have a rowing machine in my guest bedroom that probably has not been used in over 5 years. I mean, that's frustrating. It's because I need to pay for something, so I show up. So when I pay for a Pilates class, I show up because I don't want that money to go to waste. When I am not paying for exercise, I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it in an hour, and then it's dark and I can't do it anymore. So I'm trying very hard. The only thing I like doing is Pilates, but it's expensive. And so again, I go, should I spend that money?
Time-consuming.
I know.
I really like jumping to a conclusion. That is my exercise. And I'm going to jump to the conclusion that today's guest is going to be amazing.
Yeah. And she's very good at taking care of herself. But again, I think that might have happened later in life. So let's ask, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. An actress, director, advocate with over 51 credits to her name and barely 51 years old. You may know her from The Fosters, the spinoff Good Trouble, or Lock and Key, and she just joined the cast of Imperfect Women with Kerry Washington, among other many notable names. But it's what she's been doing off screen in her 50s that we are going to chat about. She suffered a great loss 2 years ago on Christmas Eve, of all days and all people. Oh, I'm going to cry at the top. Her husband and the father of her children lost his battle with cancer. She has been an inspiration of strength and survival, not only for herself, but for her kids. She has become incredibly passionate about health, advocacy for early detection, advocating for the adoption of older foster youth through the organization You Gotta Believe, as well as being on the board of Kusawera, a nonprofit helping children in Malawi, and spending some time in Spain. So let's please say hello to the splendid and spectacular Sherri Saum. Woo! Oh, hi.
Sherri.
Hi, guys.
Sorry, I got a little
what
choked
a
up
generous
there.
And beautiful intro. Oh
Well,
my gosh.
It's just a
I
reflection
sound
of who you
great.
are.
And you made Constance cry, which does not happen often.
Aw.
Yeah. I just love you so. And you are truly an inspiration for so many reasons. And so let's just jump right in. And I'm going to ask you, do you have one word to describe your 50s?
It has to be liberating.
Wow. In what sense?
Yeah.
How do you come to that word?
It's just very strange. I mean, usually, life comes upon you gradually and you notice gradual things or gradual shifts in your perspective or your thinking. And for me, it was really like a light bulb. I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, I have had some extremely earth-shattering, perspective-changing moments in the last couple of years, but it really felt like a night and day feeling of so many things that I used to worry about. And I was like PhD level worrier. I'm so good at it. Worry about, or, in general, it would just be like, I'd have that first instinct, like, it's just burned into your nervous system of how you're going to react to something, like, and then it would just go, meh. Like, I just feel freer to be who I've always been. But more like 24/7, not like, okay, this is daytime at work, Sherri. It's just, whether it's, I'm going to go out with someone tonight and I'm a homebody. I mean, I'm as adventurous as I am and I travel and all that. Like, I really am a homebody and I love seeing my friends. I love going out, but I really have a clock on that stuff. Like, I got to go. Like, when I go someplace, I'm enjoying, it's great. We have a blast, but I'm like, all right, that's a scene. I got to go. And before I'd probably be very polite, like, oh, I need to do, XYZ. But now it's just like, you guys know me. I got to go. Like, I no apologies for you. I love you so much, but I got to go.
Yeah.
And it just feels like, and everyone still loves me. They're still my best friends and it's all good. And you just,
Yeah.
just peeling away all the crap and BS,
Time becomes very different as you get older, for sure.
And we talk
and how you use it.
Yeah. And I think that that's what we talk about a lot, is that you show up for yourself more in your 50s and beyond.
Yeah. And I mean, I got to be honest, I've always been really, really myself, but the difference is I felt bad or shameful when, it was like, oh, it's Friday Night Lights or, high school when everyone's going to the game. And I'd rather like sit at home with my journal and watch like Golden Girls and, eat a Domino's pizza. Like, that's my dream night. And I'd feel bad about, I'd still I'd do me. I would always do me. But I'd always have this feeling of like, oh, I feel bad. Now I'm just like, no, this is so much better just to be authentic and just, it's so much lighter.
I actually learned from Gen Z that I have a social battery and that I need to recharge it. I used to feel really awful about laying on the couch all day, but sometimes if I've had 2 or 3 intensive days of life, I need to check the fuck out and lie the fuck down.
Yes. And I've been this way since I was born, and I'm just now coming into how, this is lovely. This is wonderful. And my friends accept it and then laugh about it with me. And even my husband, who at first would take offense when I would like leave our own party that we were throwing at our home. And I'd go upstairs, with the French exit, like not tell I would just be gone. And he'd be like, what happened? Is everything all right? And now, later he started to realize like, oh no, she's done. She's in her nest. She's done, with like total acceptance, and everyone laughs and like, stay in my house. You guys can stay all night. I don't care. I'm going up. So, yeah.
Now, is this a kind of liberating feeling coming from, your choice to maybe just spend a little bit more time in Spain? And like, what has that been doing for your psyche, getting outside of like the United States? Because I do feel that women are treated differently when they age in other countries. And I'm curious if the liberating part is happening a little bit there as well.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you know what? I didn't really fully form that whole concept until you just articulated it, but it's true. I mean, I feel like my friends here, the women especially, it's a different, everyone loves to like look nice, and some of my friends are really girly or like, but in general there's just not that perfectionism. Like everyone's got these perfect teeth, and they're out on the beach whatever size they are without their tops on, and no one is like, oh gosh, or they're just out there. It's like it's a whole cultural difference, and it is really freeing, and it's invited me to just be that person, to just be that person. And especially with new people that I've met too, it's kind of fun because I'm going, they don't know that I was so, they don't know that about me. So I get to be who I want to be now, who I really feel that I am, and just, all hang out.
I wonder if there's less of a sort of male gaze centering in Europe than there is here, because I feel like American women are very much,
under a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I think we get picked apart here more than they do in Europe,
Oh, I think so too. And obviously we can have the conversation all day long about social media and what that is doing to us. And it really doesn't seem to matter that we all know the BS-ness of it. We all know, and it's even more so now with AI. We all know it, but we still are hooked. We are still fooled, and we are still affected by it. It just is. So yeah, it's been incredibly freeing to be here. And it's, I spent a lot of time in Madrid or like the bigger cities too, because I love that life as well. But where I am now is literally like 15,000 people, maybe. It's a fishing village. There's no like public transportation. There's just, my kids go out on their scooter. They have a key to the house. They go get dog food for me down the corner. I don't ever think for 1 minute, oh gosh, are they going to, not even for a second do I think that. It's just... And they also have a really lovely thing here with the women in general. It's a very familial kind of feeling. Like we went to the pool when they were young, really young here. And there was a little pool for the kids, and there was a big scary pool. And my one son was toddling out the gate to try to go out. And I didn't notice him at first. And I turned and I just see this rando woman, like grab him and bring him in and close the gate. And she wasn't like, oh, can I touch your son? And oh, I need recognition for doing this. And I'm, like, it was just like, we're all mamas, let me grab your kid. I know he's not supposed to be, it was so like everyone just takes care of the kids. And when they're at restaurants, they really accommodate, and the waiters are, scruffing their hair, and they're not like this kind of, nuisance. It's just, yeah, it's freeing.
So the moral of the story is America is weird. I want Constance to remind you of something that you have said to her so that we could talk about dating.
Oh, right. Well, and you and I talked about this too, Sherri, is this perimenopause, right? Because you're in perimenopause, right? Which is...
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah. And you were talking about an interesting reaction or symptom that you were having from it.
Yeah.
Can you share what that is?
It's really bizarre. And again, against everything, I was always kind of, raised very Catholic and very, very, very conservative. And it was just, we never talked about anything about your bodies or about what happens to you at any stage. So I was utterly, obviously unprepared for, in this point in my life and everything that I've been through traumatically with my husband, to start feeling like my body was like, like, let's go. Like, you need to, recognize me. I'm here. Like, I need some attention. And I started feeling like this, like, make sure my kids are not around. I started feeling like I'm hungry in a way that I'd never expected to be. Like, my husband and I were fantastic together. It was amazing to be with him. And I thought when everything happened with him, well, let's just hang it up. Like, I'm just, that's over. But it was just the opposite for me. I felt like this, and I was reading somewhere that there was something called Widow's Fire. It sounds like some dime store novel, right?
Oh, wow.
The Widow's Fire. Yeah, it's called Widow's Fire. And it's so like blood to me to even say that word. I have to, like I have to acknowledge it, because whenever I'm, doing paperwork for something now or at the doctor, it's like you check the box, right? What are you? I was a widow. It's like this horrible thing, but it's this true thing that happens physiologically, I guess, that your body is in such like, it needs to live. It needs to be reminded that it's alive after such, a crazy, awful experience. And so it's like, and it's like, I was shocked. But it came with a really good timing of, like I said, feeling this new liberty about everything, and going, oh my gosh, like I never gave myself full permission to like explore or feel like, it just, I'm a grown woman. Like, obviously, I'm married 17 years, like all this, but I never really tapped fully into like ownership and the just for fun of it feeling, side. And that started percolating in me. And I'm like, what the do I do with this new bodily information that I'm dealing with? So,
and what are you doing with this new bodily information? That
you knew that was coming.
I mean,
no pun intended. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot wrapped up in it also because of your husband, and I'm sure you feel guilty, and I'm sure, putting yourself first, but yeah, like how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
Are you dealing with that?
I mean, I also know him so well, and I know, he was such an incredible and sexual and passionate, amazing person who taught me a lot, and I just know this about him, and I know right now wherever he is, he would want this for me. He would want me to feel this way. I think there were probably times he might have sensed like, wow, I bet there's a lot more to you, like in certain ways that, maybe we haven't gotten there yet. I'm sure of that. And I somehow, which was another huge shocker, I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad feeling this way, or I feel guilt. I just didn't. And I think that's, again, like just from the feelings in general I'm having, and also from knowing him so well and knowing how much he loves me and would want me to, really live double now, so I'm trying to live double.
Okay.
When was the last time you looked in the mirror and told yourself how extraordinary you are?
I've always had a pretty good, I don't beat myself up. We all do a little bit, but I don't really beat myself up a lot. I feel really proud of myself and, what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do for my boys and the life that I've lived and the crazy, like, chances I've taken. I'm really proud and yeah, I have to say I don't beat myself up overly. So
that's awesome. What do you find most surprising about being in your 50s?
I guess it's just the weight of the term and the word and the it just feels like it's supposed to be this thing, and I don't ever really think about it until, again, like I'm at the doctor and they'll be like, no, so you're 50. I'm like, who? Where? Why? What? And not in it like as a bad thing way, but it just feels so like, because we're also conditioned to feel like 50 should be this thing. And trust me, we all have things that are happening that are like, whoa, this is different. But again, like I'm just so determined to live huge in the way of like my passions and my drive. And no matter what happens to me, I just have this thing where I'm like a whack-a-mole. Like I'll be down on that couch, trust me, with, my Golden Girls reruns and whatever Dateline for hours, but I just always come back up. And yeah, I don't remember what the question was. I think symptomology, but
it was whatever you said, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
and
perfect. It's interesting that you talk about your health and all of that, and I know that you are a partner with Prenuvo and the whole full body scan thing, which Constance and I were talking about yesterday, which is something I really want to do, but I'm also really terrified about that. Yeah. As I'm 65, sure. Like, talk about why we need to know.
Trust me, I was also like, oh my gosh, when those results popped up in the email, like I had moments of like, but in general, again, after what's happened with me with my husband and everything, I have this insatiable need to know and to do everything I can possibly do. Like, let's just get out of our own way here and like and face it, like I don't know. It's so exciting to be able to go, oh, this could be a problem. Let me make it not a problem, And I have things in my family, neurologically, and my grandmother with Alzheimer's and things, and they can't detect every little single thing. There was a list of things that they don't really, but there are a lot of markers that you can go, oh, and then you can keep an eye on it. And like, I just want to be here for my boys, and like, I want to do everything possible. I'm obsessed now. I'm like that person now. Like, I want to go to the doctor. I'm emailing them about questions. I don't care if I'm annoying. I will just call that emergency line, even if it's not an emergency. Like, I want to know stuff all the time. I love doing blood tests. I want to know where I am hormonally. I want to know if I don't feel right, why? Like, what is going on? I'm so passionate about that. Like, we all should be.
Yeah, I
agree,
think as women, as we get older, we do need to pay much more attention to things and feeling, and not, do what we normally do, which is, oh, I'm sure I'm fine. Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Right. Oh,
but I
push it down.
I do think this generation, I bring it always back to this generation, but we are aging differently. And I think aging differently is not only from the outside, but also the inside. We want the information so that we can be prepared. Where I think like generations before us were like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Whatever I don't know won't hurt me, right? And we are in a time where we get too much information on the internet and social media, et cetera. And so sometimes that's bad. But I think when it has to do with your own health, and if you could be your own protector by just having the information, that's huge.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I'm scared, but I'm going to do it.
You do it. My husband had a colonoscopy, I think, scheduled, and it was like, oh, and then COVID hit, and then they were like, oh, we're going to push that down. It was literally that. And then, by the time they discovered it and he was in pain and it was like out of nowhere, it was like way too late.
Yeah.
And, I'm just not going down like without a fight. If I can prevent something, if I can make something better, I am so all over it.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. I've had 3 colonoscopies, and they were just a lovely, I always say, is it propofol? Like, I understand why Michael Jackson was addicted to propofol. It is the most delightful sleep that I've
nap.
ever had. It's just
the colonoscopy nap is like the greatest thing.
It pays off for the horrible stuff you have to drink beforehand.
Yes,
for sure.
I 100% agree with you. 100%.
What is on your fuck it bucket list right now for the next few years? What is something Sherri Saum is like, I'm gonna fucking do that?
Oh my gosh. Well, I did one of them, which is kite surfing, which is not a huge thing, but it was a scary thing that I'm like, here in this region, it's a big, big thing, and all my friends do it. It's like Cheers. They have this little Chiringuito, which is like a beach bar, and they all just kite surf, and I'm always just like standing there. And I went like 2 weeks ago, and I did that, and it was terrifying and awesome. I just, I don't, as far as bucket list things, I want to continue directing. I want to continue doing what I love, acting. I want to just take my boys everywhere. I want to just take them to Tokyo and just, travel. And so like Vietnam and like Tokyo, Asia, some of those countries, those are on my list. But again, like I've said, I attack life, and I always have, and I'm not going to leave anything, on the table when it's all over. Like, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it all. Look out.
Kite surfing. That is that's a lot.
That's upper arm strength and core and legs.
And there's sharks involved. I mean, that's what I think every time I look in the water. I hear the Jaws
you know what?
music.
The honest thing, honestly, the scariest part of the whole thing was the algae. It's this particular beach has a lot of algae, and I'm just so grossed out by like stepping on that. So having to like walk out into the water and get prepared, I was like, until I could actually get in the air. So like the algae was scarier to me than the actual kite surfing. But
no, here's a fun fact too, because you just talked about directing, that I would love to talk about, because it was something that you had never done, and it is a scary thing, doing something you've never done before. And I was grateful because you shadowed me as a director and we got to have all that time together. But I'd love to hear about how that was for you. Like, what were the biggest lessons you learned? Because that was something you chose to do later in life, even though it came so naturally. Like, what were the lessons you took away from that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, it was such an incredible opportunity to be able to shadow you. I mean, like to see such a badass woman. I mean, between you and Troyan, who I also kind of shadowed, like commanding this entire production, but effortlessly and not with this like attitude of I gotta prove something, and harmoniously and like with massaging these crazy actors' egos and like with grace, and like it was so inspiring. And how just you can make a scene live or die by the direction that you give someone. And that was my biggest like thing, was I just wanted to be able to how can I convey? I hope that I can convey like as good as Constance did and Troyan did. Like, how can I convey what I want to have happen on the screen in a way that tells the story? And that was a huge takeaway for me, seeing you in a situation with someone who may be, a little bit challenging to deal with, how you would approach that, and then seeing what you can make happen because of the way that you communicate with them as a woman, as another actor. That was huge. It was such an education.
She's a bad bitch, that Constance Zimmer.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know
like
how
directing herself in the scene that she's in.
She's
all
amazing.
Like, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let's go back again. I didn't like how I did that. Like it was a revelation. It was so much to take in, again, with the technical stuff, and then just watching you as a human interact and bring the best out of these actors. Wow, chills right now.
Wow.
You're so cute. I really don't know how that came back on me, but that's very kind of you.
As it should.
I appreciate that.
A lot of women our age and older are losing people, sadly, in their life. And I wonder if you have some words of wisdom about grief and how to handle that. I always say it's like a roller coaster, and you just kind of have to strap in because you never know when it's going to hit. But
it's true. It's true. What I've learned mostly, and I've done this my whole life, or like uncomfortable things or things I don't want to deal with, I just compartmentalize. I just shoo it away and just kind of like hope it goes away. Like I've done that a lot in my life, and I realize like grief is the most mother-loving, patient thing in the world. You can go on your trip to Iceland. It's all right. It'll just be waiting for you when you get back. It'll just be sitting there. It'll wait for you forever. It will stalk you like a stalker. It is not going anywhere until you decide to turn around and face it. But you don't have to like take it in gallon gulps. You can portion it. You can spoon, and I remember feeling that way. It was some advice that I'd gotten when I was doing some counseling after the fact. And, there's times like I had to go into his closet and do some things, and it's just very, very overwhelming, and smelling him in there and seeing his perfect shoes and all the way he used to put everything. So, oh my God, you should see his closet, you guys. It's like a museum of beautiful leather and the shoe tree. I didn't even know what a shoe tree was until I met this man. Like, so great, but like very overwhelming. Obviously, those things are so, intense. And I would just sip like pieces of the grief. I would just sip it and then go, okay, I'm going to put that away for now. But you just take it in little doses, and that way you don't feel like you're avoiding it, but you're not taking it on like a deluge. You're just sipping it. Sip some and then chip away at it. So you just kind of let it in little doses. But again, you can't outrun it. You can't out vacation it, shop it, sex it, nothing. You cannot do that. It's just going to wait for you. It will be there till you're ready. So
it's great advice. Yeah. Speaking of advice, do you have any advice for the next generation of women coming into their 50s?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I think a lot of pressure is put on, women in general. For you need to be this by this age, and they are so hard on themselves when all these milestone birthdays come along, and they also see it as a symbol of something that's like in a decline. And I just would encourage you guys to just it's like such a cliche. Oh, age is just a number, but really kind of just is. And it's up to you to decide, and if you can keep on top of your health and keep on top of your mental health, my God, in this day and age of the most important, there's nothing that's like this literal physical, like, barrier or like slide down. Like it could just keep going like in a great way. Did you ever think about that? Like, let's invite that possibility. And what if it just got better?
It does get better.
I don't think we allow that thought.
That's
or if we hear that. I remember hearing that in my 20s, like women saying, "Oh, it just gets better after fit," and I just be like, "Yeah, right, lady." And now I'm like, "No, I understand what they're talking about." Like, no, come on, it's fine. The water's fine.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's true.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying
to get everybody to jump in the water
to tell everybody that actually getting to 50 is fucking phenomenal. If we're all lucky enough to get here, we should be having a party about it. Seriously.
Well, we only have one more question for you. It is a surprise question from Constance.
Surprise question from the jar. Okay.
Oh.
The jar is going to ask
you something. The jar of fate. The jar of spice.
What do you have no patience for in your 50s? What do you have no patience for in your 50s?
Oh my gosh. Customer service representatives. I mean, it's always been that way, but I just can't with a half hour on the phone with them and they haven't done anything to help you. And then they say, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" No, you haven't helped me in the first place. Like, no, I have no patience for customer service or your call is very important. No, it's not. You don't know me. You don't care. Let's stop the lies, pick up the phone and deal with me. No, I have no patience for bureaucracy, I guess. I have no patience for complaining. I like to live a little bitch fest now and then, but I have no patience for like just harping on like what's wrong,
Negativity.
Because it just makes your brain like go, "Oh, this is what we're doing now. Let's look for what's wrong. Let's look for what's wrong."
Yeah.
So like or my kid pouting like, "No, I have no sympathy for you, dude. None." If it's depending on what it is, but like the other day, like he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to wear my scooter pad things for when I scooter." I'm like, "Okay, just telling you." What does he do? Scrapes the heck out of his knee. And he was crying and he's so cute. Like you can't not love this kid. But I said, he was like, "Mama," and I'm like, "Nope, got nothing. Nothing."
Wow.
If anything, you should have more scrapes because you should be outside more, scraping it up like everybody else. Like, get out of my face, kid. No.
Well, we appreciate your patience with us today.
We love you. It's already over. I could talk to you all day.
Yeah, it's been wonderful having you. We really appreciate you coming to us from España today because it's late there. And
muchas gracias.
And we're going to come kite surfing and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you, Sherri. We love you.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too, guys.
Bye. I just love her. She's so lovely and so forthcoming about dealing with, the loss of a husband. I can't imagine. And grief and her sexuality surprising her and just sort
I also
of
love
taking
her
ownership of that. And
her word liberating. I mean, that's so specific to this time. And I've never come up with it on my own.
Yeah.
Right? But look at her. She's also like glows from the inside person too. I think with what she's been through, she's not letting it drag her down. Instead, she has let it unleash her.
Yeah. I mean, I did want to get into the nitty-gritty of her dating.
Of course you did.
Because I think dating in your 50s has got to be the biggest shit show / surprise show out there.
Do you think so? Because I think women in their 50s know exactly what they want and what they need, and they don't have time to go on 2, 3, 4 dates to figure it out. It's like, let's fucking go. If we're right, we're right. Let's go.
I know, but you have to deal with this new way of dating, which is so hideous.
Well, sure. There's that.
I mean, but our producer gave us a great quote about grief, actually, that I would like to say here because it's so true. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Wow. That's so... It's so true. It's like, I even with my mom, who I didn't think I would miss that much, it's been so surprising to me. Grief is very surprising.
Yeah. And I also like her saying, like, you don't have to take it all in one bite. Like, you can take tiny little bites, little sips. You don't have to glug it all down because we want it to go away. We want to be like, okay, I did this. I suffered through this. I'm moving on. But I think the idea that like you don't have to do that all at once. Do it at the pace that works for you and where you are in your life. And just know it's not going to go away. It's just going to show up on different times. I mean, my daughter, my family, we've been dealing with a loss that was really, really difficult. You know,
She was very young. Yeah.
it still makes me cry. And I always think like, oh, I've gotten through that. And no, I haven't. I'm never going to get through it. My daughter's never going to get through it. We're never going to get through it because everything is after that.
That's such an important lesson. It's not about getting through it. It's about living with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, we're going to end with a quote here from Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. For anyone out there navigating grief, just know you're not alone. And listen to this. We are not idealized wild things. We are imperfect mortal beings, aware of that mortality even as we push it away, failed by our very complication, so wired that when we mourn our losses, we also mourn, for better or for worse, ourselves, as we were, as we are no longer, as we will one day not be at all.
Gosh, oh gum.
Poof.
And that is all the time we have for right now.
Yep.
Want more TFTM? Follow us on Instagram at Talk50to Me and subscribe to our email list to get Talk50to Me updates and announcements. Do you have a question? DM us on IG or email us at talk50tomepod@gmail.com. And remember to like and subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcast and tell a friend so they'll tell a friend and so on
And so on and so on. See you next Tuesday. Bye now. Talk 50 to Me with Heidi Clements and Constance Zimmer is produced by Alex Beatty, recording engineer Aaliyah Walker, editing by Zaleen Hassi, music by Matt Friedman, production services provided by A4S Podcast Studios, a Talk 50 to Me LLC production distributed by the Forward Network.